how do beliefs end up inside our heads? Hello everyone, my name is Rich Pearson. I'm a professional counsellor and psychotherapist based in Falmouth in Cornwall, and today we are going to be talking about mental mind crushers. So again, I have to be relatively explicit about this at the start. This idea of mental crushers is something which could be fairly specific, I don't know, but it could be fairly specific to the training centre where I did my training, because I haven't heard of it anywhere else. But it is a really interesting way of explaining about how beliefs end up in our minds. And it's really interesting when I talk to my clients about it, and they have found it quite helpful. So if this is trademarked and copyrighted information, then I apologise. It's not mine. I didn't come up with this, but it is something which I have found really helpful. I think other people might do as well. But when I was doing my training, the lecturers explained to us this thing which was described as a mental crusher. It's imagined like a kind of robot kind of thing. Now imagine you've got all of these ideas like outside of this crusher, and then inside you've got an arm that grabs an idea, and then you've got like a hopper kind of thing that it drops it into, and then a processor, and then a big vat, which is where the ideas become beliefs. So all around the mental crusher thing that you've got all these different shaped things. Some are shaped like stars, some are circles, some are just wibbly cloud shaped things, anything like that. And there's millions of these things. These things are ideas. Now they're in various all different shapes and stuff, and it doesn't matter what shape they are, but what matters is that they are irregular and that they're not a square. That's all that matters for this metaphor. And the beliefs could be anything from, I don't know, the sky is blue. The sky is blue actually might be a belief, might be an idea or a concept, for want of a better word, that might actually be quite close to being a square anyway. And for most people, they would pick that thing up, put it in their hopper, and it would go through the processor, and it wouldn't have to change that very much for it to go in and become a belief. Because for most people, they'll look up and go, the sky is blue. I mean, that's what we all pretty much agree of as blue. Some people might, take it not so literally, because the sky is not always blue. I'm looking out here and it's actually quite sort of grey white today because it's quite cloudy and stuff. But fair enough. So that's something that's been a relatively easy thing. Okay, let's take something slightly more controversial and complicated. Women deserve equal rights. Now, for some people, that might also be an idea that comes in pretty much as a square already, and it will quite easily be picked up, put into the machine, and it won't have to do much reshaping to say women should have equal rights. I guess equal rights to who? We should specify. I mean, I'm going to say men for this example. But for some people, that might not be quite a regular shape. Now, what it might do, if rather than that idea outside of the machine, it's like a square, like a spiky star or a triangle or something, what the person's mindset can do here is pick it up and then put it into the machine and make that idea conform with the existing beliefs and shape it into what their version of a square is. And that might strip away some of the reality, some of the authenticity of that fact. I remember there was a great film I watched a while ago, had Keira Knightley in it, and it was a period drama kind of thing, and someone, she was talking about women's rights, and this man's sort of mansplaining back to her, and he said, yes, women deserve equality, but equality in moderation, perhaps. I remember that being such a wonderful line, because it's like equality is equality. You're either equal or you're not. And actual equality and diversity is a whole different thing, which we will touch on later in another video. But the interesting point there is that for some people that would be a really hard concept to get into their mind, and they might change it so that it fits in with their pre-existing set of beliefs. Because you imagine once the idea has gone through the machine, there's a nice row of square blocks with one empty square available, and that's what it's got to fit into in that space. So if you take another example, what would be an interesting example here? Okay, war is necessary. That's a really interesting one. And for a lot of people that know me, it's a subject I do like to bang on about, and one that I've had to sort of really reassess and examine my ideas and beliefs on, because is modern warfare necessary? Do we need to have guns and bombs and things? And there are people, I guarantee, who are watching this video right now who have taken that idea as war is necessary and it's gone straight into their machine. It's had to do no reshaping and it's in there, and they're like, yes, of course war is necessary. We have to have it. It has to happen. But there are other people, put my hands up, I'm probably one of them, who says, maybe no, we don't think that war is necessary. Maybe we think that there's more diplomatic ways of solving our grievances and problems and such like. So it would be interesting in a sense, because my mental crusher might pick that idea up and it might reject it. It might actually go, I can't shape that to fit into my beliefs. It's quite interesting, because I thought at the start of this I was going to try and make myself sound like the tolerant person who can accept all beliefs and everything else like that. But I don't know if I could accept that one whole as that single sentence, war is necessary. I don't think I could accept that. I think it's a complicated subject, definitely. I think I don't know enough about it. I used to think I did. I used to think it was really black and white. And then I thought about the very things that I've talked about in terms of simplicity, and I realize it's not that simple. I think there are definite things that I would rather that we did, but I think the interesting thing is the people who will try and tell you that it is necessary, or any of the other things that we sort of discuss in this society, like, is global warming real? Or no, it wouldn't be a question, it would be a statement. Global warming is not real. I'd have a real problem putting that into my mental crusher, because I quite firmly believe that it is. But I can also understand that science as we know it could be flawed. I don't think it is. I think it's probably real, what the scientists are saying, and that we should really try harder to save the planet a little bit more, and ourselves in the process. But the point of all of this, rather than me just sort of talking about some of the things that I get upset or annoyed about or anything else, is it's worth thinking, how does your mental crusher work? Because everyone's is going to work slightly differently. How open are you to having new ideas come into your funnel? Because some people have got a great big open funnel and they're like, I'll accept any idea, from rights for transgender people to the existence of aliens to, I don't know, like whether the moon is actually made of cheese. Some people will be like, "Yep, bring it. I'll think about that. I'll open my mental crusher to that concept." And some people have very closed ones and very specific, regular shaped contents inside. And this is the thing: is that for some people, their belief system will just fill up, and they'll be like, "Nope, I have no more room for any new beliefs or information." And it's helpful as a metaphor to be able to assess your own way of interpreting ideas and turning them into beliefs, and assessing other people's, and being able to have this conversation about it. Because I mean, I never got to have many of these conversations with my father before he passed away, and I do really miss him, and I wish I could have had some of these conversations, because he was a wonderful man at times, and at other times he could be sexist, racist, he could be all sorts of things, as I have been to an extent throughout my life sometimes as well. Not quite to the extent he was, I don't think. But I wish I could have sat down with him and said, "Dad, why do you feel this way about, liberals or women or black people or anything like that?" And being able to ask someone about how an idea has got from being an idea, being a concept, into a belief structure that exists within them, really helps therapists in order to talk to people about what matters, about why does this matter to you? Because someone honestly might be quite a material person. I don't think I've ever had a client like this, but they might be like, I've got, I can't afford the car that I really want, and I'm working my, proverbial off to get it. And I might say to them, why does it matter to you? And, we talk about the idea that having a good car might be a status symbol, and that shows other people that what they are doing is good and worthwhile, and that might be a condition of worth that ties into it. And that's how that idea that having a good car is a symbol of success, has been crushed and put into their mind. And sometimes, you know, so for some people that might be a really healthy thing and it might help them attain something. If working towards buying a good car has prevented them from taking heroin, then that's a positive thing as far as I can see. But in most cases, it's generally helpful to be able to say to people, why does it matter? Why is it important to you that you have a nice car? Why does it matter that what people think of you? So being able to assess and examine other people's mental crushes and the way that they put beliefs into themselves and your own and those of people around you is really helpful for counselling, and it's really helpful for life. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on how ideas become beliefs through the metaphor of this mental crusher machine that I've been using and gesticulating about. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next video. Thanks very much.